I love these minions. I love the Djinns. I've been up for over whoever knows now. It's definitely past that typical 20 something hour mark, and I am a little delirious. So you work with me, I work with you. I give you what I've worked on for the build, and you don't hate me for a very basic generic video. Now in the background is a generic tier 15 map. I'm turning off my other minions and I'm just throwing a couple skills. I want you to see kind of what it looks like, what their damage looks like by themselves. Just the Djinns by themselves, Fire Djinn and a Sand Djinn, what their damage looks like, okay? And then eventually I'm going to switch to the monkey at the end. Hopefully future me didn't die doing this test run. And you can get an idea of what the damage is looking like right now, as I've just barely hit level 82 and I barely have kind of pieced together my gear, okay? All right, so if we're on board and you like the way some of the skills look, there are other skills that I have not shown you. There are other skills they have. There are different ways to play them. The way I am playing them is as pure minions. Okay, this is a pure minion setup. I'm not doing any spell casting myself. If anything, the minions are the spells. Now, as future me is fighting the monkey, I'm going to give you a simple warning. These are minions, but I am pressing buttons. They are instant though. There's no like cast speed. It feels super seamless. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm pressing right click to have my minion shoot an attack. Pressing Q, W, you get the idea. So I am pressing extra buttons. I personally do believe by the time I'm level 90, I might only be using 2 buttons, but I also could see that there's 3 different ways I could build this character. So for now, let's just talk about what I'm doing right now. All right, so in game, like I said, level 82, Waff, inner furry. Forgot I named myself that. I'll go over my gear and everything. I'll explain all of them, but we have to start right here first. So first off, which Djinn should you take first? The sand one. You could do fire thematically if you want to, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you want the best, Waff, what's the best? For the rest of this video, I'm going to tell you, here's what I did, here's what I think is the best. Kalari, the Sand Djinn, Deception. Judgment is very good. It wasn't necessary for me. I think my last Ascendancy, I might take it, figure it out, but for now, I don't need it. I have enough damage. I could add more damage. You've seen the monkey fight. I could add more damage to that right now. I just simply don't feel like I need it. I just want my clear speed to be a little bit better. The next skill that you could take is Reckoning instead of Fire Trap. This is Tornadoes. I like it. I don't have great damage supports for it yet, but I do think Reckoning is a contender. It's very cool. Does good damage. I like it, but I didn't feel like it was quite better than Flame Tornado stuff, okay? The Water Djinn is mostly utility. I'm not going to talk about theories. I'm not going to talk about my next build. I'm going to simply talk about what I'm doing right now and what I'll be trying to do for the next 7 hours I log in. And last but not least, I just had this for energy shield recharge delay. I'll talk about that later on because this is a choice that you could make. For the skill tree, obviously there's a mobility down below. I just went for minions, generic ES. And for leveling, I went for armor. So I believe I still have my armor gear. Yes, I do have my armor gear right here. This is, I'll stop on it so you can get an idea, but I wore this all the way until the max. So I finished the campaign with this. I just took minion stuff, got armor, and I was wearing these boots, and that's it. And I wore a +2 this. I wore this. I literally wore this until level 78. I wore this to level 78. The Djinns are that strong. The point is, Djinns carried me. They carried me through the entire campaign. They carried me through absolutely everything. So how do you scale them? What do they do? How do they work? They are minions that don't quote unquote exist. For example, you can't put Feeding Frenzy on them because they technically don't have any HP. They're invulnerable. They don't cost any spirit. They are minions, okay? They are command minions. A lot of people seem to get confused with this. They are minions. They scale off of minion damage, minion levels. If you take fire level to spells, that does nothing for them. He has a fire tag. You need something that says like a fire flower that has fire to all skills. All right. I just want to make that very clear. A lot of people ask me those questions. The next question people ask me is how do you get through Act 1? Like I said, there's going to be a very scuffed mobilytics down below. It's very rudimentary, but it's the best I could do on such short notice. And there's going to be another mobilytics link that's going to be this exact character. So one is very much a, hey, this is the tree I used in Act 1 and 2 and 3, and these are the gems I used. And there's going to be my entire character in the end game section. Okay, so you got that going for you. Next is what gems that I use. So like I said, the Sand Djinn was first. One thing you understand about the sand character is that they have so much damage. I'm really mostly just running just AoE and biting 3. Technically you could run biting 2, that's 30% more damage. I'm running biting 3. I just simply want their cooldown up because they're doing so much damage that I feel like, okay, you know what, I want their cooldown up more. They're doing so much damage already. I don't care. Brutality, heft, they are fizz damage. Magnified area for the fire traps. Biting 2, because I actually want the fire traps to do a little bit more damage. They don't hit quite as hard. Hulking minions. This sounds stupid, but again, they don't cost spirit. This doesn't do anything besides give him 20% more damage. It's just generic DPS I wanted. And then running rearm, because to make a long story short, his traps are technically things that can be rearmed, which means that they have a 30% chance to rearm. You could drop that, you could put in fire pen, anything, immolate. There's tons of different options. This is just something I happen to put in. Obviously, as you can tell, the character's not finished. I'm going to skip over everything that doesn't matter here. Flame Wall doesn't matter at this point. Skeletal Cleric, just Last Gasp, Sack Lamb, and I just have Powered Zealots. Wild Shards, Feeding Frenzy, Acceleration, and Pierce. These guys are still under leveled. They're level 16. They should be level 18 by now. I'm still piecing everything together, but this is where we're at. Freezing Mark is very important, so you don't have to take the Armor Break node over here and waste your points. Take any low level mark at level 7 and then put Mark for Death on it and Duration. This will armor break better than that minion node on the tree will. So you take this, you do not care about the freeze mark. No, we don't care about any of that. You're just simply using it for Mark for Death. All right, and that's it. Nothing else here matters. I don't even really use the Pain Offering. That's it. I've gotten to tier 15 maps with just this. For the gear, +3 and spirit, you always want plus levels first. All right, especially even for the Djinns, because they don't care about spirit and they're kind of hard carrying you. Level of minions. Level of minions, I would say if you're going to go for ES later on, just go for +1. Don't overspend on some +2 stuff, just get +1. +2 or spirit, again, I would prefer +1 and spirit rather than nothing. Plus level of minions makes it so your specters will survive more. So I value +1 over everything. Generic ES, I don't even really want to hover over this stuff. It's just generic ES, okay? None of this stuff really matters. Spirit on the chest because I could afford it. 10x. That's it. That's all the plus level of minions. That's the gear. It's very straightforward, very easy. I want to talk about the tree for a second. The command wheel, probably you want to focus on this first. I know there's going to be a tree down below, but you're going to be like, what should I go for first? You're going to want the cooldown as soon as possible, and then you're probably going to want the AoE. We're a Sork, knock on wood, right? Like, hey, we're a Sork. We don't have the minion nodes here. It's very stupid. It's very weird. I know. It is what it is. Later on, I will be pathing this way to the ES. I just don't have the points and attributes all set up yet, but I'll just be pathing to the ES. But in the mobiletics, obviously, when I copy my character, that's what it's going to do. I'm doing an energy shield recharge thing. I'm testing between two. There's actually two things you can do. This ascendancy node gives you -1 second to the base to recharge. I don't really have any clips for it, but basically when I get hit, it takes about a second for me to start recharging, but it's not the fastest because I have to get that. There's a plan B. This skill right here, Naviro's Well from the water Djinn, this is about a 3-second cooldown, and I'm debating between doing this one and the other one. So this is, I get hit, my recharge will be a little bit quicker, it'll be fairly fast, but the actual speed of recharge will be a little slow. Or the alternative, which is I drop these nodes and I drop this wheel and I just take recharge speed, and then whenever I get hit, I just back up and then I summon her. She immediately starts my recharge and it shoots up fairly quick, and you could in theory just be like, oh, I got hit, back up, hit it, fly all the way up. In theory, I'm bouncing between the two. I have this set up right now because I figure this is going to be a lot easier for you to understand and be like, Waff, what are you talking about? Just copy this and take this node here, or you can take an extra couple nodes or minion damage nodes if you want. Do whatever you want. There's no way to fail this. For what I plan on doing for the next couple hours after I log back in, finish this character. I want to actually scale the powered zealots. They're really not doing much for me right now. They're barely have just become usable in the last, I'd say, 2 hours of me playing. Like I said, you can skip through the VOD and see that I really was not utilizing them. I was a bad stepfather to them. I was just mostly Djinn in my jork, if you know what I'm saying. So that's pretty much it. The only other questions I could possibly think of people were asking was, are they good? You have to define good. I'm always going to say, hey, look, minions aren't for everyone. Is this more of a spellcasting minion? Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's still a minion, right? You still have to add in other minions realistically. Can I, in theory, down the road, make them just clear the maps by themselves? It's possible. I just don't see how I'm going to do it as of right now or tomorrow. So if that's what your goal is, hey, get to theory crafting, get to leveling. For now, I can only just do what I can do, which is play the game, experiment, and go from there. That's it. That's really all I have. I am pretty brain fried. I'm genuinely probably going to disappear for about 10 to 12 hours, so this is all you're going to get. Like I said, skim through the VOD. If you have any questions, I was answering questions the entire time. I do get delirious a little bit through there, but you know, there's a lot of info in there. But hopefully this answered some of your just generic questions. No mobile index is going to be set up. Good night. Have a good one. Salute.